tossing the baby out with the holy water. A recently publicized case is garnering a lot of attention on the issue of parental rights and religious beliefs where children's health issues are concerned. The case involves a 20-year-old Mariah Walton who suffers from pulmonary hyperextension and may need both a heart and lung transplant in the future as a result of a neglected but easily treatable congenital defect she's had since birth. However, her parents, who are fundamentalist Mormons living in Idaho, chose to pray for a miraculous recovery rather than having the simple surgery which could have given their daughter a chance at a normal, healthy life. Walton is publicly calling for prosecution of her parents for criminal neglect, a plea which would easily move forward in most states. However, as a result of Idaho's 1972 Child Protective Act, parents are immune from criminal charges up to and including manslaughter should a child in their care suffer due to the parents' earnestly held religious beliefs. A change to the law would not only impact Mormon families who live in Idaho specifically for this protection, but Pentecostals and Christian Scientists as well. A bill proposed by Democratic legislator John Gannon would repeal the law. However, the bill was blocked by Lee Hyder, chairman of the Senate Health and Welfare Committee, who refused to even give the bill a hearing. Meanwhile, preventable childhood deaths continue to stack up in the Gem State. In just one sect alone, the Pentecostal Followers of Christ Church, there have been 10 such needless deaths in the past 10 years, thus leaving the team at the infidel about the right to life after birth. New boss, same as the old boss. During the Cold War era, Russia was considered the epicenter of godless communism. Atheism was the official state attitude toward religion, and the church was tolerated but generally suppressed. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, things have changed drastically, and now many complain that the Orthodox Church has too close a relationship with the Kremlin. In no way is this favor for religion more dramatically apparent than in the case of 38-year-old Viktor Krasnov of Stavropol. After engaging in conversation with two Orthodox Christians on the social networking site VKontakte, in which he quoted the cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, who said he had been to space and seen no God there, and stating unequivocally that there is no God and that the Bible is a fairy tale. Krasnov was reported to authorities who raided his home and arrested and charged him under a 3-year-old religious protection law. He was also forced to spend a month in a mental institute by a judge who said no one in their right mind would write anything against Orthodox Christianity and the Russian Orthodox Church. Should he be convicted, Krasnov fears that his case will set a dangerous precedent concerning the right to freely express opposition to church teachings. Tricks, no treats for UNICEF. The United Children's Fund, better known as UNICEF, has released a finding that in the past 2 years, 1 in 5 suicide bombings carried out in the West African terrorist group Boko Haram was carried off by a child, and that child was usually a girl. In 2015, Boko Haram used children to detonate suicide bombs 44 times, 11 times the number of children suicide bombers they used in 2014. To me, that's the epitome of evil, said the United Nations Humanitarian Coordinator for the Lake Chad region, Toby Lanzer. I cannot think of anything more horrifying. It has also been reported that since June of 2015, Boko Haram has forced 105 women and girls to detonate suicide bombs. Many of the female bombers are captives who have been abused and brainwashed into carrying out the attacks as proxies for the male-dominated militants. Many have had their hair pulled back in a traditional funeral style, indicating that they are prepared to die. However, many have surrendered their bombs and turned themselves into authorities rather than kill and die for their brutal captors. Many believe cracks are beginning to form in Boko Haram's inner circle, and the Nigerian press reports that nearly 80,000 men have surrendered and been repatriated into the national army. Nigerian princes. Last December, Nigeria's military reported the killing of several hundred members of a rebellious Shiite sect after altercations between the sect and military convoys broke out. At the time, Nigeria's government presented witnesses who claimed that the Shiite group Islamic Movement of Nigeria, or IMN, had blocked the army chief's convoy with burning tires and threatened to murder him. The government's witnesses went on to claim that while many protesters threw rocks as a distraction, others hid in nearby tall grass with the intent to hurl petrol bombs at the convoy and the chief. However, after having conducted their own investigation, Amnesty International is accusing the Nigerian army of indiscriminately slaughtering approximately 350 civilians and disposing of their corpses in a mass grave in an effort to cover up the massacre. Amnesty provided satellite images which purport to be the site of the mass grave. The report by AI also indicates that several of the victims were burned alive and that the military then razed buildings to further complicate investigations into what really happened. Following Amnesty's accusations, the Nigerian official acknowledged the existence of mass grave holding the bodies of 347 men, women, and children, but the official insists that the grave was authorized by court order.